When a stranger's picking your pocket, breaking into your house, stealing your car, what would you do? Maybe defend what's yours. Call a neighbor for help. Maybe even call the police. But it's different when the perpetrator is someone we know, someone we let into our house or borrow our car. None of us like to think we were duped. Mark Twain said, "It's easier to fool people than to convince them they've been fooled." This is why thieves and con men like Bernie Madoff are able to last so long. No one likes to admit they were taken advantage of. It might also explain why a dozen politicians seem to be getting away with stealing Texas from the voters.
All too often we vote for somebody because we like them.
I think you have an entire structure of political organizations designed to pull the wool over their eyes, to obfuscate issues.
These guys have helped the Democrats steal control of the Texas House of Representatives.
As I've been traveling Texas, I've had people telling me that they feel like the Texas House is run by Democrats. Look, we can all count. There are more Republicans in the Texas House than Democrats. But these folks have been insistent. They point to the large number of basic Republican priorities and conservative reforms, some that have been watered down, others that took an unnecessarily long amount of time to accomplish. Many have been ignored completely. And they point to the most active Republican Attorney General in the nation being impeached by the Republican-dominated House, but with more Democrats than Republicans voting for impeachment. So, do the Democrats control the Texas House?
So that's a really good question.
Basically, what you find out is people that they can talk a good game as to where they stand philosophically and stuff like that. The problem is that all of a sudden the desire for power and to be a member of the team becomes, and when I'm talking about the team, I'm talking about the leadership team. That becomes the issue that surpasses everything.
When you can only need 8 or 10 rhinos to side with all the Democrats, then all the conservative Republicans are shoved outside in the wilderness.
The most hated people in the whole House were conservative Republicans. And we lost our chairmanships, we lost committee assignments, our bills were pushed to the side. It was hard to believe that in a Republican administration, the conservative Republicans in the House were viewed in the worst possible way and treated poorly.
The Obama wave that brought a 76-74 split Texas House also coincided with the rise of the Tea Party and a reinvigorated grassroots movement. No one was more involved with that than Julie McCarty.
We all started because of the federal, and so to be blindsided and find out that Texas, who has this reputation of being, wow, we live in Texas, it's the conservative bastion, right? To be hit with, it's not what we all think it is. It was very eye-opening.
Is it correct to say that Democrats, when you entered the Texas House, controlled the House despite it being a Republican majority chamber?
Yeah, absolutely. You saw that in vote after vote, where a minority of Republicans would vote against something that ended up passing the House with Democrats and a minority of Republicans.
But I was surprised by the power the Democrats yield in that body when I got there.
Yeah, it was shocking to me to realize that some of the inner circle were very, very liberal Republicans and also just flat out Democrats. They did not want the Republican Party platform enacted.
When you first get into the Texas House, you do an orientation, and it isn't for your parking space or anything else. It's specifically to show you that they are a club and that we do what we're told, and you will be accepted as a part of the club and be protected in your re-election effort. And they bring in Democrats as well to show that, hey, despite what you see during the campaign, we do things different here. We're really all friends. What you tell your voters back home is something different.
I remember one of the Strauss chairmen specifically said, hey, you guys are freshmen, and the best freshmen, the successful freshmen, are the ones that sit down and shut up. And I remember raising my hand and saying, excuse me, my constituents aren't freshmen, so what about them? I thought it was funny. They didn't think it was very funny.
We've got to pay attention now or we lose Texas.